Well, good morning, friends and countrymen. Oh, yeah, should roll up the windows. It's like sealing a spaceship. Except this car is not airtight, and if I ever end up at 40,000 feet in this thing, well, you know, if that happens, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's gone wrong. and I doubt that the atmospheric conditions will be the first thing I'm worried about. Neat, somebody waved. But, right, good morning, everybody. I'm on my way to see the doctor, an actual doctor, because my stomach, well, this was scheduled months in advance because my doctor is the director of the clinic where he's at, so, yeah, he's busy. But, yeah, so, I mean, it's a quarterly checkup. But I've also been fucking nauseous, and it drives me nuts. It started Sunday, and it was really bad yesterday. Like, I couldn't keep any food down, and you know, I haven't been screaming at my shoes this morning, but the nausea is still there, and it's really frustrating because I'm fucking hungry. But if I eat, it just comes right back up. So I'm gonna bring that up with the doc when I get there in a little bit. Quit rattling. Something in there rattling. I don't like rattling. Ah, whatever. And yeah, so it's frustrating that as much as my stomach is saying, give me food, it's like a trap. It's like how when a cat rolls on its back and it wants you to rub its belly, but the minute you do, rawr! Yeah, so my stomach is trolling me. Asshole. But the weird part is, okay, I feel better today, like I can focus a bit better, and I mean, obviously I'm lucid and everything. Yesterday was rough, man. Had to take a day off work, and I know that pissed him off. That project is overdue. I gotta get that shit done. And yeah, so with the divorce final, yay! That was the 22nd of March, best day of my life. I think that was Friday, whatever. Yeah, so the divorce decree came through that day, and I'm officially a single swinging bachelor again. I've probably mentioned that on a previous video, but wanted to celebrate it again. Of course, the effect of one of the immediate effects of that, of course, my ex-wife wasted no time canceling my health insurance because I was on hers, and well, you know, technically speaking, the divorce decree really canceled it because the employee benefits, the way they work is you can, you get your own benefits, and then you get, your spouse can be added to your benefits if you so choose. And, we're not spouses anymore. So I think that, that automatically cancels it unless, you declare yourself domestic partners, and that ain't happening. So, she wasted no time, got me, booted me off her health insurance, which is no big deal because I wasted no time enrolling in my own employer's health insurance, which, it's, uh-oh. I don't know if he's coming over or not, but he's bigger than me. Yep, he is. Asshole. Oh well. So yeah, I think the health insurance I have now, believe it or not, is better than what I had through her and her employer, which is crazy because that health insurance was astonishingly good. And it's like some platinum level Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield thing. My doctor copay, preventive care, like checkups, are free. Office visits are $10. emergency room visits are $30, which is fucking crazy. My max out of pocket per year is $2,500, and my deductible is, I think, $250. Or yeah, $250, I think. So yeah, that's kind of nuts. Now the fun part is, I signed up for that on the 22nd. The day, pretty much an hour after I got my divorce decree, I went and did the enrollment for that. And Americans do this retarded thing where you have this open enrollment period. If you you can only change your healthcare benefits and benefit elections, for the most part, once a year during the company's designated open enrollment period. Otherwise, you're locked in, and there's some bullshit excuse reason why it's done that way. Something to do with preventing fraud or some shit like that. Realistically, it's so insurance companies save money and don't have to pay out as much. Completely not beneficial to the peons dependent on that health insurance, you know. There are exceptions to open enrollment requirements. One is when you first start with a company. When you become eligible for benefits, you know, it's okay. I mean, they'll make an exception. They let you enroll, no matter what time of year it is. And then the others, there's this notion of life-changing events or qualifying life events, and that's the saving grace that let me sign up for this outside open enrollment. It's stuff like you get married or you get divorced, you lose benefits you lose existing benefits that you had from something else, or you gain benefits from somewhere else. So like in my case, it was a double whammy. I got divorced and I lost my existing health insurance coverage through my ex-wife's benefits. So that's how I got in. I think there's other stuff like, if you have a baby, if you acquire a domestic partner, because, you know, they're all hip with the, you know, LGBT stuff. And there's a couple others. I forget what they are, but it doesn't matter. So I picked the right thing from the drop down, and I did all my enrollment shit, and it said, okay, well, you've indicated a life-changing event, so you need to submit proof. Well, okay. Uploaded my divorce decree. I'm like, God damn it, this should do it. I can't imagine what other proof you need. And I upload that, and like a week later, I was in Vegas, in Pahrump, visiting my parents. I'm sitting in their living room, and I happened to bust out my laptop real quick to check my email. And I get an email from the benefits administrator for my company, and yeah, yuck. And they say, well, thanks for your enrollment application. The proof that you've submitted isn't enough. We need proof that you lost your insurance coverage. And I'm thinking, what the hell do you need? I'm on my, you know, I was on her employee benefit plan for spouses. We're not spouses anymore. I gave you proof. There's a fucking case number. It's got my full name on it. Her full name. Like both of her full names, because, you know, she wanted her maiden name back, which is great. She's not tainting my family name anymore. But yeah, so I wrote the guy back, because it was a individual that wrote me to say, hey, you know, we need more. I wrote back and said, look, I know you're doing your job, and I don't have an issue with you, so, but what the hell? I don't know, what else do you need? And he said, you know, he wrote back and said, look, I'm real sorry. I'll keep your file open. But the, you know, insurance companies are complete and total dicks about this, and they need to see proof of loss of coverage. And I'm like, well, fuck me. So I'm in, out of state, so there's fuck all I could do about it at the time. But fortunately, when I got home and checked the mail, there was a letter from the old insurance provider, and it said, yeah, you've lost coverage. Haha, you suck. You can pay us $800 a month to continue coverage. And so I scanned that letter and withheld my own commentary about the fucking price. And so I scanned that, sent it in to the benefits admin, and he's like, okay, perfect, that'll do great. So yay, I'm enrolled in all that. Coverage began on the day that I lost the old coverage. Now the funny thing is, for this appointment today for my doctor, the clinic called last week and said, hey, we ran your insurance because they've got the old insurance, and it's expired. Your coverage ended. So we need to know what your new insurance is. So can you give me that? And I'm like, I just enrolled and they haven't given me the ID number, member ID yet. And she's like, okay, well, see if you can give them a call and beg the number out of them, because otherwise we'll have to, charge you the cash price. I guess that's $110. That's going to be an expensive Adderall refill, right? I'm like, okay, fine. I'll call them up and grovel. And I tried, really tried yesterday. I think I was on hold for 1 hour, 30 minutes. And no, that was the IRS. I'll get to that story later. No, I was on hold for about 30 minutes, and it kept saying, please hold while we transfer your call to the next available agent. Your wait time is 2 minutes. And it kept that up for and then it stopped telling me my estimated wait time. And I figured, okay, something broke and I'm stuck, so whatever. And I wasn't even sure that was the right contact number anyway, because the menu asked a whole bunch of weird questions like, if you're a physician's office, press 1, which that's okay. If you're a, if you're a benefits administrator, press 2. If you're a registered, or if you're a licensed reseller, or a insurance agent, press 3. Investors, press 4. And it didn't get around to if you're a member until press 8. So I think it was a corporate office that I'd called. So no biggie. This morning, right, I get up about 2 hours before my appointment because my fucking stomach woke me up. I check my email, and there's an email from the benefits administrator. Your member cards are coming in the mail. You're good to go. Vision and dental only. Those two are ready, and I've got my member IDs for that. But the medical stuff, they're still processing that application. So, fuck. So I either get to, fork over $110 today, this morning, or ask them to bill me. And then, so we'll see if I've got any credit with them. Been going there for years, so with luck, I do actually have a good enough standing with them that they'll be like, okay, fine, fuck it, we'll just send you a bill. Because at that point, hopefully I can't imagine it'll take longer than a couple more weeks. They'll get that shit squared away at the insurance provider, and I'll have my member ID, and I can just send that back in and get the bill taken care of that way. I can't imagine they'll be grouchy about it. It's a big hospital chain, so they're used to waiting months or years to get paid. And I'm not too worried. Or they may say, fuck you, give money. And if that happens, then I'll say, fine, fuck you, give me a receipt. Fine, fuck me, give me a receipt. Give me that receipt lube. It'll work out. It always does. And, let's see, getting ready to close on my refi. That worked out pretty nice. They haven't, they have to call and schedule it. But I already signed the last of the disclosures and receipt of the closing costs estimate. They want $400 too. It's like, I'm borrowing $222,000 from you. You can't just tack that on the tab? But whatever. It's the last last bit of financial shenanigans I have to do for this divorce crap, then she'll get her money, and she'll be absolved of any financial responsibility for the house, and then very last thing will be for her to send the quitclaim deed so that she gives up any, interest or ownership in the house, and then it'll all be done. That fucker's mine, and the divorce is officially done. So with any luck, that'll be done in the next couple of weeks. And in case she happens to be watching, yes, you greedy bitch, it's almost done. I'm glad I asked for 90 days instead of 60 because, what is today? Can't read that. Still can't read that. 13th, I guess? They're cutting it a little close. Would have been in a bit of trouble, I think. Even if they close on the 16th, they probably won't. I'm sure they'll cut the check to her and send it directly. And there's no guarantee they'll actually get that out the door and in her hand by the 22nd. So it's for the best that I got 3 months instead of 2 months to get this shit done. But, I don't know that it'll make her happy, but it will at least put money in her pocket and make her go away. This is the final, I've paid you, get the fuck out of my life transaction. So that'll be good news. I am 20 minutes early to my appointment, and that is awesome. Because these fuckers rarely, if ever, do anything on time. Because, it's a doctor's office, and that's how they work. And I would like to work today, because I need to work today. I'd like the nausea to go away. But now that I've said that, I'm going to pause this recording. I might be about to scream at the ground. Okay, I'm back. That was fun. I've left a little bit of Wilfie on the parking lot. Well, that's a fun experience. Never tossed cookies out of my car before, but whatever. I feel better. The nausea is temporarily gone. It'll be back in a minute, though. It always does. It always comes back. So I might actually have a stomach flu or something. Or I might have the Wu flu. Even though I got my vaccine. Both shots. Whatever. This whole thing's a clusterfuck. I'm increasingly of the opinion that the world responded very poorly to the Shaolin shakes. We should have sanctioned China, told people to wash their hands, wear face masks for 3 or 4 weeks, not shut anything down, and just, ramped up acute care for severe cases. And that should have been the end of it. But the notion that some people are expressing that, never let a good crisis go to waste. This a lot of shit's been clamped down, and it was only supposed to be temporary because that's always how it works. It'll just be a month or two that we have to shut everything down, and it's been a year since I was sent home to work from home by my previous job, and of course my new job, it's all work from home because of the commie pox, and I haven't been in an office since March of last year. Even though both jobs would traditionally be you show your ass up and you work here. So I think they've just let that power go to their heads, and here we are. God damn it. Be right back again. wipe my mouth like I just sucked somebody off. That's two. Told you it'd come back. What's funny, last Sunday when I was in Texas and still visiting my friend and her kids, we were sitting in the hotel lobby having breakfast because they do the free breakfast thing, and it was actually a pretty good breakfast. I knew that I shouldn't eat because I was going to be getting on an airplane and flying home that day, and it's just easier. I don't like having to go to the bathroom in public toilets, really. And if you load up on breakfast, you know what's happening a couple hours from then. My body's pretty reliable about that. So I didn't want to mess with that, and you certainly don't want to have to go to the bathroom on an airplane in flight. Well, at all, really, because even just standing there to pee is its own fun exercise because it's tiny in there. And you certainly don't want to have to sit down in that cramped little room, that closet, and try to go number two. So, right, I didn't eat. I just had a couple little cartons of milk, a couple pints, I guess, or half pint, whatever those stupid containers are, little cardboard things. And I had like two of them. I'm sitting there talking with everybody. We're having a good morning. And all of a sudden, I'm like, getting kind of a weird feeling from my stomach. Excuse me. I get up and I ask where the restroom is because I hadn't seen the restroom in the hotel. And he points me the right way, and I go in there. And I shut myself in one of the stalls. And I just stand over the toilet, lift the lid because I'm not an asshole. And I stand there for a second. It's going to be an interesting day. Maybe nothing's going to happen. Maybe I'll be okay. And boom, came right out. And her oldest son happened to be in there taking a leak. And, I bring up a couple loads worth. And I hear this, you okay, man? And I'm like, yeah, I think that milk was bad. I spent a couple more minutes in there shouting at my shoes. And then, flushed the toilet, went back to the table, sat down, and felt fine. And nothing else came up after that. It was perfectly fine. So, that milk was probably just bad. And then I was fine all week. Then Sunday, I barfed once. And then yesterday, God, it just machine gunned out of me. The front end, just saying. And then this morning, I got too cocky on the way here. Oh, I haven't thrown up this morning. I feel fine. And then I park the car and get here, and not a whole lot came up because I didn't eat anything this morning yet. I guess subconsciously, my brain knew better than I did. So, yeah, I guess this is the post-divorce diet. I don't think... I don't think this is General Tso's revenge, because there's other symptoms, and I don't. Well, my blood pressure was a bit high yesterday too, but that came back down, and I think you have to have more than just throwing up to be considered in having the Wu flu. So it's probably something else. Could be stress. I really don't know what I'm stressed about apart from work. I suppose. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. The closing going, the health insurance stuff, my taxes. That's another story. I may have to. If I get summoned, I'll just resume the story when I get back from my visit to the doc. So I did my taxes this year, and thanks to filing separate, didn't get to deduct mortgage interest and student loan interest from last year's income for my taxes. And I definitely went up in tax brackets because of the new job last year, and never made this much money in my life in a year, and it feels good to see that number. I really liked my gross income. It was real nice. Came in right about exactly what my, the advertised salary was. So, hey, perfect. But for an assortment of reasons, I ended up owing $6,000 in income taxes this year. And it's weird. They always say, oh, well, you underpaid, so there's a penalty. And I'm like, shit. And then they compute it, and it's like $3. Oh, okay, sure. And so yeah, when I did my taxes, I filed them way back in February because I was motivated to get it done before the third stimulus checks went out. And I know this is petty, but I did it early so that when we got the second one, well, with the first one, we were still married, still living together, and the money all went to her account because she filed our taxes, my ex-wife. And when the money came, I asked her for my half, my $600 worth, and she actually fought a little bit, argued with me, and then caved and wrote me a check. And it turns out she bitched to her boyfriend about that a lot. Like, I can't believe he actually wanted that money. Like, yeah, it's my money. But whatever. Then the second one came at the very beginning of the year. Hey, there goes my doctor. Well, yay, he's here. Yeah, so the second stimulus check came like at the beginning of the year, and because they used the same direct deposit information as they used on the first one, which comes from your taxes, that $1,200 went to her, even though $600 of it was mine. And I emailed her about it, and of course she didn't answer. Bugged my lawyer bugged her lawyer, and nothing ever came of it. So, she snuck $600 out of my pocket, whatever. And I wanted to file my taxes this year to make sure that the IRS had my bank information for that third stimulus check. Now, as it turns out, I made too much money last year, so I'm not eligible for the stimulus check, the third stimulus, and I'm okay with that. Other people need it more than I do. And but the important part is she's eligible, so she got hers, but she didn't get mine. Uh-oh. Here we go. All right, guys, I am back. Doctor visit done, blood drawn, urine collected. Doctors and their fluids. Okay, so I was regaling you with a fun, boring ass story about the IRS. So for those who don't know, the IRS is the Internal Revenue Service, the tax man. Every year, Americans subjugate themselves, bowing low and prostrate before the mighty altar of paying your dues. Anyway, no, it's actually pretty straightforward. So I was already halfway through the story. The upshot of the whole thing is that because of the way I had to file, to keep my ex-wife from getting my stimulus, ended up owing about $6,000, and that sucks. But you pay it or you don't. And if you don't, you get a visit from very, very nice, well-dressed people that just want to take you off for a visit to a nice, to the pain monster, as Futurama would put it. Nah, so I can pay it. It's just going to take a couple months. But when I filed, one of the things that the tax software asks you is, okay, how you want to pay for this? And I'm like, okay, well, it'll be tight, but just direct debit it from my checking account. And they're like, okay. And, they filed that, and the IRS accepted the e-file, and everything's fine. There's, it's very simple tax filing for me, because it's real simple. 2 W-2s, and that's it. So that was back in early February. Then about, I would say, 3 weeks ago, or about 2 weeks ago rather, it occurred to me that, okay, I'm not quite going to make that, I set the direct debit for the 15th of April. That's tax day. And it turns out that's not actually what tax day is this year. They bumped it forward to May something. because of the Wu flu. And because they want to prioritize paying out the stimulus checks. So, but anyway, the payment was due to get taken out of my checking account this Thursday. And I realized I wasn't quite going to make it. Like, not quite have enough to cover that. And I've come to learn that if they try to take out the money and there's not enough there, the bank will just say, no, up yours, you're not getting it. And then, pretty sure my credit union doesn't charge any fees for that, but I didn't really feel like finding out. But the short version is I applied for a payment plan thing, and really it just amounts to, the way I did it, they give me an extra 4 months to pay, is really how it ends up. And there's no fees for that. They don't charge an extra, well, I think they do charge an extra penalty, but it amounts to another $5. And a little bit of interest on it, which amounts to another $5 or $10. So I guess there is a fee. Whatever. So I did that. They approved it, and I've got the email for it and everything. And then I realized, okay, so the last thing to do is to cancel that debit so they don't try to yank that money out. And their website, it's a government website, so of course it's cumbersome and didn't work right. They couldn't use, for some reason, they couldn't verify me by email or by phone. No, they verified the email, but they also wanted to verify by phone, but for whatever reason, my Google Voice phone number wouldn't work for them, and my cell phone number didn't work for them either, so dickheads. So they have to verify by mail, and that takes 7 to 10 days for the mail to get here. Okay, fine. The payment comes out in 3 days, so I'm kind of humped. So I ended up calling them, got on the phone, and it takes, I'm not even kidding, it takes 4 minutes. I timed it to navigate through their, press 1, press 2, press 3 kind of menu system to get put on hold to wait for an agent. So I did that. I went through, it took like 4 minutes. And then it said, thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah. Due to extraordinarily high call volume, we're unable to take your call right now. Please try again on the next business day. Click. Fuck. So I waited a few minutes and I called back. Another 4 minutes later, I get through their menu system, and this time it says, your current wait time, estimated wait time is 56 minutes. I go, oh. But, it's on, got it on Google Voice, it's on speakerphone, so what do I care? Then about a minute later it says, instead of waiting on hold, you can schedule a callback, where we'll call you once we have a representative available. To use this option, press 1. I decided, no, I'm going to sit and wait. So I didn't do anything. And then about 20 seconds later it goes, you must select from one of the menu options, one of the following menu options. And then it repeats, to have a callback, press 1. No other options presented. So I was like, okay, I guess I know what you want. So, boop, I hit 1. And I gave them my cell phone number for some reason, or no, my Google Voice number, and that time it worked. And I'm like, okay, I'm never going to hear from these fuckers, but whatever. So in the interim, I found another phone number to call. And I called that one. And it ended up dumping me back into the same system, so I just hung up and said, okay, fine, they're going to call back, whatever. So sure enough, about 45, 50 minutes later, my phone rings, I answer, and it's them. They actually called back. And the friendliest, nicest woman answered the phone, or picked up my call. She was super nice, really helpful. The IRS has actually done a lot in the past 15 to 20 years to kind of shed their reputation as, interacting with them means your life is over as you know it. They used to be pretty vicious, but these days they're pretty nice. Because, well, I guess they figured they have a better shot getting money out of you if they're not total dicks. But yeah, she was super nice, super helpful. She looked up my account, my tax return, whatever, and she goes, well, okay, so there's 2 things. One, we don't actually do the debits. Your tax software does it, so you got to get hold of them to cancel it, to cancel the payment. We can't do it. I'm like, oh, well, shit. Okay. Then she goes, second, we don't actually have a record of your payment plan being submitted or approved. I'm like, oh, God damn it. And then she explained, well, so what you need to do, just wait until you receive. Well, we're doing processing now, so you should be able to, once you get into your online account, apply again, and you'll get a written confirmation from us in your email and in writing. And if you don't, call back. Okay, I can deal with that. And it turns out they extended the payment deadline to like May 17th anyway, so no biggie. So that's no big deal. But I still had this payment I had to cancel. So she said, if you can't get the tax software company to back it off, call your bank or your credit union and just say, hey, they're going to try to yank this money out. There's not enough. Can you please block the payment? And I go, okay, I'll consider that. So digging around a bit more, I ended up on a different tax software company's website. Not my own. I used Tax Act this year, I think. And I think I ended up on, I want to say it was TurboTax, Intuit's tax software site. Because I was just fucking Googling for a solution to this. And they listed a third number for the IRS that called the payment cancellation hotline. So I called that one. And to my delight, it asked me for an absurd amount of information. My social security number, the amount I owed on my 1040, the routing number, or no, not the routing number, the account number from the account that was going to be debited. And then it said, okay, we found your scheduled payment. You want to cancel it? Like, yep. You sure? Yep. You selected your sure. Are you sure? Yep. Okay, canceled. Woohoo! So, this continues the trend of the people you talk to at the IRS being not entirely right. Like, they don't always know what the hell's going on, and the answers they give you are not always reliable, and importantly, not legally binding. So, I mean, you can get on the phone with the IRS and they'll tell you, oh yeah, you're fine, you don't have to pay any no penalties or anything, just take your time paying it, pay us in October, you're good. And in May, when they send you a nasty gram saying, hey, you motherfucker, you haven't paid us, what in the hell? You go, your dude told me it was okay. That's not true, you can't prove that, fuck you. Anyway, so that's all straightened out and done with. I'm going to, once I get that mail verification for my online account, I'll go straighten that out. I'll get online and reapply for that payment thing. All it means is they just give you an extra 4 months to pay. There's no fees to it or anything. And I'll be able to, it'll be no problem to raise the money at that point. I'm close to having it now. I just don't want to. It'll stretch me out pretty thin if I pony that up right now, because there's been a lot of shit going on. Ended up having to pay cash at the clinic, which is okay. I've got a receipt, and I can just send that back once I get my health insurance stuff updated, and that shouldn't take too much longer. I think they said another week or so. And so that's all straightened out. My doc says I'm okay. He gave me a work note for yesterday. Said I probably just have a stomach virus, not COVID, thankfully. And if I keep puking, then call them back up. Hopefully that'll be all right. So yeah, that's my misadventure for the day, and my. Life is fun. There's so much paperwork, though. Almost home, so yeah, I wasn't feeling so hot, so that's why I didn't live stream this past weekend. Hopefully this video gives you lots of unnecessary detail about why. So I've got it on my schedule to do some live streaming this coming weekend, I promise. I know I said that last time. Sorry. I will really, really try this weekend. Need to make progress in the Lit Cubes playthrough, because the new Farnham's Legend expansion pack, or expansion for X3, is coming, and I'm looking forward to that. Gonna go back to some vanilla with all new stuff. Looks fun. I looked at Mayhem yesterday or Sunday, one of the two. Because I thought, okay, people have talked about it. It's a different thing. It's like a total conversion, like what LitCube tried to did, but entirely different. That didn't make a lot of sense. Total conversion meaning it completely changes how the game, like the metagame stuff works. And I thought, okay, this sounds kind of interesting, like a procedurally generated universe map. That could be really awesome. And there's a big bad that actually comes to you. It's time gated, and there's a plot. There's missions you have to do to advance the story, and it looked kind of cool. But then I started reading about somebody's kind of quick summary of what it changes and what's different between LitCubes and Mayhem, and I actually read a lot of stuff that I don't know. It doesn't sound like I'll enjoy it very much. I'm still going to give it a try later on, I think, but I guess there's no Saturn complex hubs, which really bums me out, because I love those things. Money doesn't matter as much, because you have to build stuff yourself, which is fine. That part doesn't bother me. Although it does technically mean I can't just cheat money in and, win the game. Oh, well. And I like the idea that you have to produce your own parts and everything to start building ships. And it even says that you get to the point where you're building ships much earlier than you are in LitCubes. So that's kind of cool. But what bothered me is the fact that there's not only no station or Saturn complex hubs, but there's also a limit on how many stations you can build in a system. And once you hit it, you have to go to another system to build more stations. It's interesting, but sounds like it'll crap your style a bit, or my style. And the other thing is the other factions, when they want to expand and they hit the limit, or you hit the sector limit, so they can't build anymore, they might start encroaching in your space and deciding, well, we need to build a station here, and this is full, so we're going to blow up one of yours. Now, that makes the game interesting. I mean, it's an interesting idea, and I don't know if I'm going to like it. I probably will. Once, who am I kidding? This looks fucking awesome. It's just different, and I'm afraid of change. So I don't know. My first read of it is that that's going to bother me. But having said that, I didn't know the first thing about LitCubes when I first started playing it, and it was radically different in a lot of ways. And I wasn't sure if I'd like it, and here I am on my fifth playthrough of the damn thing because it's that awesome. So yeah, it may work out that I really love Mayhem as well. So that's on the long list of stuff I'm going to play through. I am back home, and I got to get into the office and hop onto Scrum, so that's going to be it for me. Long video today, but I needed to vent. Hopefully I'm not going to be venting my stomach anymore. We'll see. Anyway, guys, have a great day, and I will catch you next time.